Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for Tales of Eldura. This is session 8, and we'll do a session recap in just a second. But basically, we are Jonathan and Beth Ball, the writers behind D&D Duet, and we are doing an adaptation of Descent into Avernus for one-on-one D&D called Tales of Eldura.
And tonight's exciting adventure is brought to you by Buried Heroes. Buried Heroes tells the story of a world of high fantasy, magic, and nature that teeters on the brink between light and darkness. Ancient forces awaken, and new heroes rise to the occasion. But this time, can they prevail? Find out in this exciting first-in-series novel packed with druids and pirates and werewolves and more and just all the goodness. You can pick it up at bethballbooks.com directly, or you can also purchase Buried Heroes wherever books are sold.
Sunny. Also, our stream is, and our time in producing our show is sponsored by our wonderful patrons. It's thanks to you guys that we started this stream. We super appreciate your support. It means the world to us. We did have to postpone this week to do our stream tonight instead of last night, as we were putting the final touches on. Honey, what is the name of the adventure? I always want to say Burning in the Light, and that's not it. Burn in the Light, like from Diablo.
Our new adventure is called Basking in the Light. Basking in the Light.
Or Blinded by the Light is the other thing I want it to be. Yeah. Basking in the Light. Anyway, patrons, we super appreciate your support. Thank you guys so much. It means the world to us. But now it is time for us to go back in time and from the world of Azuria into the pre-flood world of Eldura. So we left off our party. Actually, Garreth, do you want to give us a brief recap, and I can kind of set the stage for where we are in terms of combat and those sorts of things? We're not in combat. I am happy to do a recap of that, just to kind of make sure everybody, make sure you and I and all of our lovely friends are on the same page.
Do you want me to do my Garreth thing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm Garreth Stosdak. Until recently a mild-mannered blacksmith of the half-orcan persuasion, a begrudging devotee of Vulcan, Lord of the Forge. I have been recently pulled into affairs much greater than I had dealt with in the past, as I discovered that my son, in the nearby holy city of Beacon, suddenly disappeared, along with the entire city, seemingly into the negative planes. This has led me on a quest to discover more about what's going on, in which we have raided the sketchy murder dungeon of a noble, Eliza Seymour, who has been working, evidently, with Azrael and communing with her through a weird orb. Garreth is at present standing over the caved-in head of Eliza Seymour and hears a voice in his mind. Azrael. Bum bum bum!
Bum, bum, bum. Wait, give me just a second, because
my goodness,
I think got stuck. It's not where I wanted it to be.
I just saw
You weren't supposed to see that.
Devil demon tokens.
So there's a really cool for the tokens in the Roll20 package for Descent into Avernus. There's a token page where they have all the tokens you could possibly need. But yeah, it's kind of scary to just kind of happen upon. when we left off, like you said, we had just finished the combat with Eliza Seymour. She slumped over onto the altar. You pulled her body off of it to fall into the ground. The people in the room with you are Evelyn Tessina and Camellia Vierno. Evelyn is, if I'm double checking my sheet for a second, Evelyn is very hurt. At the very end of the combat, Tessina revived her with a healing potion. But as far as I know, everyone else is fine. Is that correct?
Tessina got hurt a little bit, but she's in pretty good shape.
Okay.
She's at 27 out of 31.
Okay.
Garreth,
How are you doing?
Garreth is unscathed, feeling a little bit poorly about that. I think he's going to do a cure wounds for Evelyn.
It's nice.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and roll that for me?
Yeah, so he's going to step forward and say...
Oh, sorry. Actually, you need to talk to Azrael first.
Right.
I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page. So you're still over there. You hear a voice inside your head that told you that what you had just done is interesting. And in introducing herself, she first chose to tell you that she's someone who is just as angry as you are. And you said, Azrael. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. What is it that you want from me, Garreth Stowstack?
Well, I suppose I'd like for you to put Beacon where it belongs and give me back my boy.
No. Thank you for asking. No.
What would you want with Beacon anyway?
It's a long story. Guess I could tell you part of it if you'd like to hear.
I like stories, and I think Garreth is gonna roll his eyes a little bit and then go heal Evelyn while Azrael vamps.
Okay. So the orb kind of glows, and Garreth, you've noticed. Oh, what happened?
Oh, 6 seems like such a lame cure wounds. It's a whole first level spell slot. I've got one first level spell left.
I'm sorry. I can see in a minute if she can just heal herself. Oh gosh, we just have one first level spell left too.
We've been through a whole dungeon.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's been a whole thing, so.
Okay, do you want to talk to Azrael?
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you're not paying attention to her, she's not going to talk to you.
I'm paying attention.
So the second you turn your back, the voice stops.
Oh. Okay. So I'm paying attention.
About this, then, Garreth. I think that what you want most is your son back. Is that correct?
That is most pressing on my mind.
Well, then in that case, I'm not going to tell you why Beacon. Though, if one digs far enough, one might find the answer. And it may be even closer at hand than you think that it is. But let me do this. Inside of this lovely orb through which I'm speaking to you, you will find a key and a map to the negative planes. And all you need to do is find someone clever enough to open it and figure out how to get here.
You're inviting me to hell?
Babe, I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're inviting me to hell?
It's not my plane. Your son might just walk out all on his own.
Well, I'll be seeing you soon then.
I'm looking forward to it.
So can Garreth approach and like kind of inspect this orb of creepiness? If there's time, then we would do a ritual identify spell on it to like get a full sense of what it is and what it does, and see if he can. Was Azrael saying that he needs to open the orb and like he needs to find somebody that can open the orb, or can he open the orb and like see the map and key?
Azrael said that you will need to find someone to open the orb, or who can read the orb. So Tessina kind of appears at your shoulder. Garreth, who have you been talking to?
Azrael. She basically challenged us to come and find my boy.
That's kind of horrifying. The tree said he was all right, didn't it?
It said that he was all right for now, but to not tarry.
Okay, well, what orb? I've seen ones kind of like this before. And one of our sister covens, they use these.
And the Witchwood, what is it? Obviously, it allows for communication.
Yes, that's mostly what they do. Some of them, I mean, it depends on what you're trying to communicate with, right? So if you're trying to communicate with, like I'm sure Tessina gestures at Camellia, might suggest communicating with one's future fortune or something like that. So you can do that. If you want to communicate with different planes, you can do that. But they're more complicated and more flexible, both, than I think people generally understand them for. Like, you don't just peer in and say like, oh, look, a symbol. This is what it means. Now I know all the things. It's, I think that they're, things that ideas can pass through as well. It's clear that Eliza has been using this one to communicate with Azrael, but did Azrael say why Eliza or how she got it? Is Azrael listening to this conversation right now?
I don't know. Is Azrael listening to the conversation right now? Does Garreth think she is?
How are you trying to find out?
Garreth is going to think about the orb and Azrael and think,
Azrael, why Eliza? Was she just easy prey?
Roll a d20.
Okay. 19.
Ooh.
That feels significant.
It does feel significant. A voice filters back out to you. I don't go after easy prey. Why bother? I think that convenience is, I'd say convenience prey. She's in the right place at the right time and had the vision to see what was convenient for me for her to find out. You should be happy, because if it weren't for her, you'd be the one on the negative plane right now. The whole city of respite. But with a couple tiny tweaks, it was Beacon instead. Isn't that fascinating?
Azrael, why would Roderick sell out his own city that he served for so long?
Why don't you go down the hall and ask him?
Because I'm asking you.
I don't speak with Roderick. I have better things to do.
We'll send him your regards.
The orb doesn't respond. Wanted to perform an identify ritual.
Yes, if that's possible. If we feel like
Okay.
we have 10 minutes and our little friend outside in the sewer isn't like tapping or signaling that cultists are about to invade our secret backdoor room.
Why don't you roll another d20 for me, and let's see how that pays off.
You got a 14.
Okay. You rolled a 14. Okay. So you start your I forgot my dice again. My other dice. Okay, cool. You start your ritual, and you have found an orb of shadow scrying.
Ooh.
Specifically, you know that it allows for communication with the fallen guardian in the negative plane, but you don't know who else or what else it might be able to connect you to.
Orb of shadow scrying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Dun dun.
And so my identify spell lets me know like how something can be used. Do I need to like take an action and make a check, or like what does it have like any other information out of how to use it?
So you get the sense, and let me double check. You get the sense that it's not just a simple scrying orb, and that there is, especially what Azrael said about there being a map and a key involved inside of that she's kind of embedded in the orb for you. You get the sense that it's not necessarily going to be a simple matter necessarily of kind of twisting the top and then boop, there it pops out. I was trying to find like a good soundtrack for us, but they're all bothering me. Okay. Or they're just like, they're not right for this kind of in between moment leading up to this other thing.
Does Azrael seem like she's done talking to me?
As you can tell.
Is there anything else on the altar?
Yes. Let's see, there are the candlesticks on either side of it. There are ancient runes carved around the top of it. I think that's basically it. So there's like a carving with like wings on the top of the altar, but mostly it's this chunky black obsidian altar.
Okay. Garreth is gonna, before we get going too much, I think that we'd also check Eliza Seymour. Does she have any like correspondence on her, or any items of interest?
Roll an investigation check.
Investigation. Here we go. 13.
Okay. You find 2 keys in her pocket.
Pocket keys.
Pocket keys.
2 times pocket keys. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So I just found a key, a little long key from a door, and then a short key.
Wait, are we streaming again?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
And a small key?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're going to take those keys, and I think Garreth is going to turn
Okay.
to Evelyn and say,
Evelyn, that was pretty rough. Are you going to be okay? Do we need to wait here for a while?
I'll be fine. I'll just be careful the next place we go. But that one in the hall, I'm not sure that we can just leave.
You're talking about Bay.
Yeah. She seemed kind of itchy and patient to me.
I do think that we need to move to address this Rorik situation and see what's going on with this shield.
Yeah.
Before we go,
Um,
Evelyn, do you think that it's okay to... What do you know about Lucifer? Do you think it's okay to remand this shield into Lucifer's ownership?
I'm not sure, to be honest. We knew of their movements in the city before, but it wasn't clear what exactly they were trying to do. What do you say we get a look at the shield and then decide?
Okay. I don't know much of anything about Lucifer, so I am relying on your judgment when it comes down to it. If we need to keep it from Bay and from Lucifer, then give me a sign. Give me one of these.
Okay.
And I'll know what it means.
And Garreth, roll a religion check before we have you all leave this room and before Camellia interrupts with helpful information.
okay, religion, here we go. 13.
Okay. So, you know that Lucifer is one of the guardians. So, like angels for celestial planes or devils and demons for the negative planes, there are guardians for the Brightlands, Shadowlands, and the Prime Plane. And so Lucifer has a mixed reputation depending on who you're speaking to on the prime planes, but he certainly has an independent streak. It strikes you, however, that you were just speaking with Azriel, who is a fallen guardian, so a guardian who has taken up residence in the negative planes, as far as anyone knows. And so if these two things are related, that could be of interest or of concern.
Before Azriel fell into, or like took up residence in the negative planes, do I happen to know what plane she was associated with? Like Brightlands or Shadowlands or Material?
She was associated with the material plane and closely associated with the city of Beacon.
Oh. Having lived in Beacon, what was her reputation like? How do I know how long ago she fell?
So under strange circumstances, about 100 years ago, and I think it wouldn't be totally clear what had happened. So 100 years ago, heroic warriors from Beacon, I think that your grandfather would have been part of these forces, and your father would have it would have been like kind of a revered contingent of the military, of the armed forces. But your grandfather was part of a force that descended into the negative planes to push back some of Alessandra's forces. And just in case you are new to our stream, Alessandra is kind of like our world's big bad deity. And she has taken over the negative planes for basically she's taken them over for herself. Within the last few thousand years, no one's heard from Pandora, the creator of one of the two co-creators of the world. No one has heard from her in an extended period of time. So, Garreth, your grandfather and a set of heroes from the city of Beacon descended into the negative planes with a group of fae. The Brightlands, you had some angels from the celestial sphere, a few warriors from Lee's Main, and they descended into the negative planes, had a very, very difficult battle, and only the few brave heroes of Beacon were the ones to leave. But the soldiers, the fae, the angels kind of came to Azriel's aid. She helped to lead the forces into battle, but she did not make it back out of the negative planes. She was captured, as were and the kind of what happened to everyone. You would know different stories about that. So are they missing? Are they captured? Are they dead or destroyed? I think there would have been a lot. There's a lot of uncertainty, and I don't know that it's something that people really took the heroes to task about, but the threat against Beacon subsided, and the heroes were revered over the course of their lives into their children's lives and their children's children, as you know, having turned away from the military path.
I love the vision of this like great host kind of descending in and fighting this epic battle. I do have a couple of quick questions. Would Garreth be surprised to be hearing from Azriel? Is it known that when did we find out that it's like her?
I think it would certainly be a surprise, like you found out just now. Okay. So, and I think there would be still a kernel of doubt in Garrett's mind. Why is a guardian speaking to him? And so some of it depends on how closely you think that Eliza has been asking these sorts of questions. And she is an intelligent, powerful figure. So you assume, and you saw like her kind of casting magic or something. So you assume that she has some sort of control or connection to that, because it was not known that Eliza was a magical being before, a person with magic before. I think that it would be more like confirmation of one of a myriad of stories than it would be than it would be necessarily like, okay, well that, I mean, and I think that's going to cement it for you. Okay. Like that's where she is. That's where she's been. People have continued to die normally. It seems like they have continued to pass on into, Australia, the plane of stars. Like those things have seemed relatively normal. I'm sure there have been a few kind of weird instances, but nobody's been able to exactly pin it down. And in a time of so much war and bloodshed, I think that Azriel's presence or absence kind of comes in and out like you would expect an angel of death to.
Cool. And my grandfather, did he make it back from the host, or is he one of the honored dead?
Your grandfather did make it back.
Did he tell war stories to his boy?
He told some to your father. He told a few to you. When you asked your father or your grandfather, I think it was something you knew not to ask your grandfather about directly. But it would be kind of like a whispered honor around your family and your family name that your grandfather was part of this host. And most of the soldiers from Beacon did make it back.
Okay.
It's just nobody else did. And so you would have heard some stories about like how horrible and terrible the fighting was and how intense, but they prevailed and they protected the city, which is the thing they'd set out to do, and then returned.
Okay. Cool. Okay, I'm starting to put some stuff together, I think.
Okay. But in terms of like a specific story, I mean, I think you would have heard like a few specific stories of, and I cut off its beards and then shaved off its neck. Like you would have heard a few specific stories, but I think it would also be something that you were careful about asking about as you would understand. I mean, I don't know that our world has language for PTSD, but I think you would know to be careful or to not broach certain subjects.
Sure. Cool. When before thinking about that, was I talking to Evelyn?
Yes.
Okay.
You asked her to help you make the decision about the shield.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna ask Evelyn. Do you think that Azrael is trying to control this shield?
Did she mention it?
No. I didn't ask her, though. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna make a call. And Garreth is gonna go over and focus on the creepy orb of scrying, of shadow scrying, and he's going to say, he's gonna think, Azrael, tell me about this shield.
Roll a d20 again. I think I'm going to make these wisdom checks.
Okay, that's better for me then. That'll be a 14 if I add my wisdom modifier.
Okay. You do not hear a response.
I think she probably stepped away. Is this orb, can I like put it in a satchel?
It's about this big. Yeah, you can put it in a satchel. I think you like could probably pick it up with one hand. Tessina would have to carry it with two. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I'm feeling like we should probably get out of this room before somebody comes and crashes our party. So I think that we might... I might crack open the secret door and say, Bay, Princess Slobberchops, come here, quietly.
Princess Slobberchops happily reunites with Tessina. Bay, whose voice I forgot to double check and have entirely forgotten, as what's taking so long?
If I can, I'm gonna get Bay to come into the room, so I might get out of the hallway, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, she'll come into the room.
Okay. And I'm gonna say, Bay, we need you to guard this room while we go confront Rorik.
You need my help with the shield.
Okay, but don't do anything funny.
Okay.
The shield business is now a group decision. We'll help you, but we need some answers.
Okay.
Right. Let's go get Rorik.
So Camellia will lead you all. I'm going to just... Rorik is right here.
It looks like...
Or sorry, so she tells you... Yeah. She tells you that the room is right here. So if you want to... Here, I can grab everybody. And where do you want everyone to be?
So I'm going to get to this door, and is it possible for us to... Are we attracting a bunch of attention? Are we going to have guards trying to stab us in the back? We'd like to go as quickly and stealthily as possible, and I think that Garreth would also like to put his ear up to this door and see if he can hear anything before
I think he's probably gonna. He's assuming that the long key or the dungeon key might have the ability to open the door, so we're gonna have that handy.
Okay. Why don't you roll a stealth check with advantage for the party? And use, let's see, did I pull up, you have the rogue.
Oh,
What is that character? Yeah, you have the spy. Here, I can pull up that sheet for you really fast.
I've got it, I think. No, I don't have the stats.
Okay. So add a +4 to stealth.
Okay. So I think that is a total, that's 18 if I'm rolling with advantage.
Okay. Let me roll for people in the hall. Ba-ba-ba. Oops, I picked the wrong thing. Okay, they rolled a 5, so I think you're set.
Okay.
And yes, you are happy to find. Oops, sorry, I've got my Post-its. You are happy to find, in fact, that a key does unlock the door. It's super lucky that you went about it in this order and not the other.
Indeed. Can I...
Sorry, so you wanted to put your ear to the door? Did I tell you the things out of order?
It's okay. Do I hear anything?
Roll a perception check.
Ooh, 19.
I'm assuming you're doing this before you put the key in the door.
Yeah.
There are cultists down the hall that you guys saw before they saw you, so you got to be kind of snappy about it. As there's a pair of them coming, but they're talking. So you don't hear anything in the room.
Okay.
But Camellia has told you that this is where Eliza keeps Roderick kind of locked away.
So I'm going to gesture to everybody, and we're going to rush in as quickly and quietly as possible. And once everybody's in the room, I'm going to shut the door. And
okay.
Yeah, we're going to charge in.
Wait. You open the door, and you hear, Eliza? What the? And you all run in and slam the door?
Yep.
You lock it behind you?
Yep.
Nice. Okay. This room contains 4 wooden tables with 2 small wooden coffers atop each one. I wanted to make sure you could see that with all the people everywhere. Hanging on the wall opposite the door is a beautiful golden shield. I think that's this. Oh, but he's stretching behind you, so cute.
We do have the cutest puppies.
Is a beautiful golden shield. Standing in front of the shield is an old man in plain garments carrying a lit candlestick. And he's wearing like white robes. You're not Eliza.
And circle hits the square.
In that same moment, Garreth, you hear a voice in your head for the second time that day. Welcome.
Weird. Okay.
I sense that you are a man of great passion.
Oh, snap. The shield's talking to me, isn't it? Garreth is going to try to ignore the shield, and he's going to address Rorik and say, what would be his title in Begin? Because I know Garreth knows it, but I can't remember.
Oh no, I had that too. Let's call him a high priest for now, and then later, when I remember if it was something cooler than that, he was one of the 3 high priests. Let's just say that.
Okay. I think Garreth is gonna step forward, and he's kind of shaking his head, and I think that he's going to say,
High Priest Rorik, how could you?
How could I what?
You sacrificed the city for Beacon for your own ends.
and I think Garreth is gonna try to grab him.
Okay. Let's do a contested strength check there, Garrett.
17.
Okay. Ba-ba-ba. Yeah, stop blocking in front of me. Okay, he rolled a 3. Can I grab him?
Not good enough.
What is the meaning of this? Did Eliza send you in here?
Eliza's in no position to send anyone or harm anyone or do anything ever again. We left her dead in the other room. And you're next.
There has to have been some sort of misunderstanding.
You better start talking.
Okay. Well, you see, Eliza tricked me into coming here, and all she wanted was, anyway, she was asking me all these questions about Beacon, and it's not my fault.
No, why would it be your fault? Because you don't have
You
the
said
app.
it's because I don't have the app. I don't want to put extra things on my computer. It should be able to. It's gonna need to be on the internet anyway. It can be like the Switch. I'm connecting to the internet.
Attention!
Everything be ready. Here I go.
Let me explain to you what the internet is for 10 minutes before you can upload a dream. So we are coming back onto Twitch. It says we're live,
Cool.
but it's not. It says we're offline at the same time.
Okay.
So we are in a holding pattern for a moment.
Okay. Cool. Every time that I refresh Discord, it turns off my music.
Hey, we're back.
Yay! Okay, that's so good. Okay. Sorry, let me get all my windows back where I wanted them to be. Yay! Okay, so we're all set?
We're all set. Rorik was just making a bunch of excuses and spouting a bunch of lies.
Oh, I hit the wrong music. I'm sorry. It's weird that you think he's lying. He's like the most convincing person I've ever heard.
Yeah. As he's going on, can Garreth roll an insight check?
Yes, go ahead and do that now.
Oh, 22.
How did you? Woo! If one nose grew as one lied, hypothetically, this man's nose would have pierced through your head and be like well on its way out of the door of this room.
I almost prepared Zone of Truth, which I think would be really fun for Rorik. But I don't have it, and I've burned most of my spell slots. So Garreth is just going to shake him, and he's going to say,
choose your next words carefully, fool, for if they're lies, you will be seeing your mistress Eliza a lot sooner than you may wish.
And I think Garreth is going to begin to brandish his bloody blacksmith hammer.
Ooh. Seeing the blood that's still caked on it, as I'm assuming you haven't taken it off, his eyes get really big. What do you want to know?
I asked you why you would betray the very city you were meant to lead.
I'm trying to figure out how he can answer your question the way that he would. For this world, not so long as it retained its alliance with Ilona, I simply was courageous enough to see a new path forward for the city. And I knew that they would never agree to it. And so I strategically have formed a partnership in Respite instead.
You're responsible for the death, the damnation of thousands of innocents.
I think Garreth
I am not.
is kind of forcing him down a little bit.
Ilona is responsible. If you want to be mad at someone, be mad at her. What has the goddess, the Titan of Light, done for us? Where was she when the city was pulled into the negative planes? What was she doing? What about her fancy son that got possessed?
What happened to the beacon?
It got overtaken. If I tell you, you have to let me go.
You're in no position to make demands.
Behind you, you feel a surge of. If you were to glance over your shoulder, you would see Tessina with her arms crossed and eyes narrowed, and the cat with the Tressum with its little fat wings and its flat face also has its eyes narrowed. It's not perhaps the most intimidating thing that's ever happened.
Tessina does the bicep thing where you
Yeah.
make your biceps look bigger.
Mm-hmm. That's what if the Tressum could do that too, that's what it would be doing. It can't get its legs up there.
Yeah.
Well, they were picking up casters one by one, but in the weeks, months before the city fell, and I didn't want to be one of them. I warned the other two high priests, and they refused to recognize what was clearly written in terms of the city's future and the abandonment of Ilona. And so I made new arrangements in exchange for my own life. And a better, safer future for the city of Respite.
Who was it that was behind this picking off of casters that you speak of? Were they picking off all casters, or were they more interested in natural magic users?
At first they seemed to be followers of Ilona, but this close to Lee's Main, perhaps it looks slightly different. But you asked me what happened to the beacon. It perhaps became overcome as its defenders disappeared.
Do I think that he's talking about the casters that were being picked off?
Yes.
Okay.
He's talking about casters being picked off in Beacon, and you know that the Beacon, it is the kind of second sun that shines over the city, is said to be spurred on by the hearts of the faithful. You know, being a caster yourself, being from Beacon, your wife being from Beacon and a caster as well, that it's not just this benign thing that happens, that there's energy and magic that goes into it. But you would assume with the Beacon darkening, the way that Tessina described it with the lightning and everything, that an extremely powerful force was able to overcome the casters putting energy into the beacon to then do something else rather drastic.
Okay. I think Garreth would have other and more questions, but I'm struggling at the moment.
Okay.
Do Evelyn or Tessina have anything that they want to prod him about? I want to know about the shield, so... how does this chatty shield factor into it?
It talked to you?
Yes.
You hear just like laughter in your head. I don't waste my time with pawns. Sorry, I lost the shield voice too.
It sounds like a shield voice to me.
Okay.
So he said it talks to me? He doesn't have anything else to say about the shield?
Not at this moment. What did you ask him a specific question about it?
Yeah, I said, how does the shield factor into this? Did you bring it? What is it?
I brought it from Beacon. Eliza asked me to. You hear the voice in your head. They're trying to keep me trapped here. A celestial being, such as myself, is very powerful and very frightening to them. But I can only be released in the lands in which I was contained.
Ooh.
Take me to the negative planes, and the rewards will be great.
Garreth really likes armor and magical armor. This is strange. Can I roll an insight check on a shield?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Using your scary voice, so it's probably telling me the truth. 20.
Ooh. Sorry. It has a thing here somewhere. Okay. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay.
So I want to know, is it indeed celestial? Is the shield pulling my leg about what it can do, what it is, what its dealio is?
I was trying a secret roll. I don't know. Okay. I think I figured it out. Okay. I done the math on the shield. Okay, you rolled a 20 for your insight, or 22 for your insight check. A 20? Okay. Oh, let me pull up the shield so you can see it.
It definitely doesn't look evil, so that's good.
So you see hanging on the wall a golden shield with a face that looks kind of like a smushed dragon face. When you kind of like turn your eyes away from it and back, you swear you could almost see its gnashy teeth moving and its eyes narrowing. You can tell that you are... Why are you opening your eyes like that?
Oh, I just realized...
Did it show you all the things?
If I resize it, I can see all the things, but I'm not looking at it.
Don't look at that yet. All right. Garreth will find all that out soon. it just needs to talk to you more first. No cheating.
I'm not cheating.
I will take it away.
No, I'm not cheating.
You've dealt with magical objects before, magical artifacts. You are certainly dealing with a sentient magical item. And I'll go ahead and tell you because Garreth deals with like metal stuff. This is a legendary item. But there's like, it's a powerfully charismatic entity in this room. So like you can barely keep your eyes off of it. And Bay, if you were to look at her, is just kind of like, and occasionally she kind of inches forward and Camellia just pulls her back.
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are you, O great celestial shield?
I am the Hidden Lord. Thank you for asking.
Does that mean anything to me?
Roll a religion check.
Religion, here we go. 18. I'm rolling good tonight.
You are. It doesn't super ring a bell. It's not like a deity of hiding.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So I turn my attention back on Rorik. And I'm going to say,
Ryder, can you think of any reason why this scum should walk out of here alive?
It's for him to be able to answer some questions, I'm sure.
I missed the first part of that, I'm sorry.
Oh, she said it would be nice for him to be able to answer some questions and be able to account for the murder of Eliza Seymour.
It is good that we got here in time to nab this deviant and remand him into the hands of justice and respite, which, as I'm sure you know, can be swift.
Garrett, do you still have him grappled?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I want you to go ahead and roll a I want you to go ahead and roll initiative for me.
On it. I'm gonna select my token and hit initiative. I don't know why I did it twice.
Oh, I think I still had the initiative pulled up from the other day. Maybe? Or maybe because I didn't have it pulled up yet. What was your initiative?
I rolled a 17 first, and then I rolled a 6, which felt worse.
Okay. Let me fix it to a 17 for you.
Tessina is going to go ahead and have a 5, so that's good.
Oh, that is good. Sometimes that happens. Oops. I forgot to select Evelyn, who always rolls really well for her initiatives, even though she rolls... I don't want to blame her, but sometimes she rolls really poorly for everything else. Okay.
Oh, I hope this guy starts something.
He rolled an 18.
Come on with it.
So let me get everybody in order. Descending. Okay, Garreth, as you kind of are like holding this man, he takes a swing at you dramatically, with his mace that he's had kind of behind his back. Unfortunately, he is unable to make a full swing and has rolled a 5 to hit.
A 5 is just going to miss my AC of 19.
I thought that would make you feel pretty happy.
I like to think of this guy just kind of flailing and just bopping this mace off of Gareth's heavy armor.
Yeah, I thought of it as kind of like an arm swing, so he's like bopped you with the inside of his elbow or something. Like, ah! Garreth, it's your turn.
Okay. Well, we are going to smack him in the head. Because it's just not nice to swing on people. I am probably not going to try to kill him.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Okay.
I think I'm going to... I imagine this is kind of like whipping him around. More than like I'm going to dance over here to this, behind this chest or whatever.
Okay.
But I would like to get us in a situation where we've got a little bit of a advantage Congo. So I'd like to...
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
Roll with advantage if I can.
You may.
Thank you, DM.
You're welcome. You had advantage already because you grappled him.
That's restrained.
Oh, it's just disadvantage. Grappling is the worst. I don't know why we even have it. Why do we even have that letter?
All right, here we go. Oh, critical hit.
You have to do that every time you get a crit now. Okay, will you figure out the damage for me?
Yes.
Let's
so the way
see.
we usually do damage is...
You rolled a 6.
Yeah, so that would be 12, right? Plus 3.
3. Yikes. And crumples in front of you. He actually has a lot more HP than you would have thought. It strikes you, though, Garreth, that he isn't casting any spells.
Uh-huh.
As one of the high priests of Ilona, should be something happening.
Yeah. As Garreth kind of throws him down, wait, is he... So he has a bunch of HP, but when you said, oh, ho, ho, is he like... Is he...
He's just crying while you like have grabbed onto him. Are you still grappling him?
I don't know, can I maintain my grapple while I pummel him?
I'm going to say no, but he is stuck between you and Evelyn, so I think it's going to work out just fine.
Okay. Cool. So I'm going to, as I assail him and as he continues to be pathetic, I'm going to say, Ilona didn't abandon Beacon. She abandoned you. So there.
His eyes get like really big as you say that. And it's Tessina's turn.
Did Evelyn get to go on her 20?
No, because he started the initiative.
10-4.
I just started with him.
Okay. Tessina with slobber chops. Can she tell if he is continuing to be a threat?
Yeah. Roll a perception check for Tessina.
Perception instead of insight?
Insight's fine.
14? I just don't think it's in Tessina's personality
Okay.
to be like, oh, this pathetic man, let's continue just kicking the crap out of him. But if he seems sketchy still, then she would do something.
I get that. Why don't you pick an action for Tessina to hold?
Okay. Tessina is going to hold the... She's going to hold her mind sliver.
Nice.
For if he attempts to take a hostile action. And
Okay.
I think she's going to kind of stand in the... She doesn't have to be close, so I think she's going to stand in the doorway a little bit and help Camellia keep an eye on Bay.
Okay. That you brought up Camellia and Bay as Bay has kind of taken this opportunity to like leap forward and is like they're kind of struggling together. I'm going to say you guys don't have to deal with them. Camellia is more than capable of handling her new friend. But just so like to kind of have the full picture flavor wise. Evelyn is going to hold a firebolt, but you kind of see like she grabs Roderick from basically like the back collar of his shirt and kind of holds him, and you see like smoke rising off of her hand. And she says something along the lines of, "I'd stop there if I were you." So I'm going to say that he is desperately outnumbered and would like to live. And Robert kind of turns to you and says, I'm sorry. I abandoned Ilona. No, Ilona, she did abandon me. She abandoned us all. Eliza took me in.
Well, now you're in the custody of the Night Watch, and they're going to figure out what to do with you.
Okay, so Garreth, while we're all still kind of holding all of the business, I think Garreth is going to... maybe he can use his stones of cavalry.
Okay.
I'm looking at Tessina's sheet. I was like, what? That doesn't look right. He has the stones of signaling. Would he think that he could use that here, or is it like a flare gun that like I need to see sky?
According to what Millicent Legree told you, you should be able to use it here. It's like a really special flare gun that works kind of wherever you are.
Love it. So I'm going to use the stones of signaling.
Nice.
Even as we truss him up. I think we're gonna use pretty much all of our rope and tie him up like.
You guys have a set of manacles?
We do, but we're definitely gonna use the manacles. But I think we'd all. Wow, I have 6 sets of manacles.
Yeah, you did. You found some while you were just adventuring around in like one of the cultist dens.
Manacles at top, manacles at bottom, and then wrap them around with rope like an old-timey villain putting a kidnapped lady on the railroad tracks.
There you go. Hey, what a horrifying idea.
I didn't come up with it. I think movies in the 30s did. So we're going to be working on that for just a minute, but so Bay is, like, she's not acting like a crazy person.
She is leaned against the wall with her hands around her back, and she seems very still.
I think Garreth is going to come over to her once Rorik is taken care of and say,
Bay, is it talking to you?
No, but it's probably just nervous.
Do I believe that she's not being talked to by the statue?
Insight check.
I would love to roll an insight check. I would also like to say, by the flame in the forge, and give myself guidance for it.
Nice.
Insight. Boom. Wow, terrible.
Thank you, Flame and Forged.
So a total of 9.
Okay. You're not super sure?
Bay, what would Lucifer do with that shield if he had it?
He would... He hasn't told me.
If you had to make a guess.
Well, it's very dangerous, so I'm sure that he would make sure it didn't get to hurt anyone or possess their minds. Has it been talking to you? How I know that you're still you? Garreth may not no longer be in charge of his body.
What a narc.
I'm fine.
Evelyn looks up with this rope that you've made her tie like a million times and just is like, and it goes back to what she was doing.
Garreth is going to... Ooh, can we ritual cast Identify on the shield so that we learn what it does and like its properties and stuff?
Sure. Do you want to just talk to it? Because that would be a way to find out some things too.
Perfect. I will ritually cast Identify while I interview it.
Okay.
Hidden Lord, how did you become trapped in a shield?
Evil forces contained me in this vessel, and this is where I've been ever since. Don't let the crazy one on the wall take me anywhere. They have dark plans and want to use me for an evil purpose.
Do I think that that's true?
On insight check.
I would love to.
By the flame in the forge!
Oh, 20.
Okay.
24.
Tell me all your secrets, shield.
The Prince of Darkness wants to use me for an evil purpose, and he shouldn't be allowed to do that. You should take me to the negative plane so that I may be freed and enact justice on those who trapped me.
Who trapped you?
Hmm?
Who trapped you?
Sorry, I should know who trapped him. I had it. I'm so sorry. Well, it answers you.
Did my 24 give me a sense that...
Oh, it's telling you the truth.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So it's telling you what it believes is true.
Right, okay. What about how cute Buddy is?
He's so cute. The shield says, who trapped me is not important. The question is, are you willing to step into the power that I can offer you, Garreth Stowstack? I can help you find your son.
Ooh.
So, Garreth, as you cast Identify, can you see the thing that I showed you about the shield?
I think it's in my journal now, and I can pull it up.
Okay.
Yes. Can I look at the thing now?
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, gosh. Don't look at it.
Oh, I thought you told me to look at
It's
it.
got all these spoilers in it. Okay, here. I'm going to copy and paste some of it for you.
Okay.
Sorry. That was close. I didn't think it would contain all these details. Okay.
Cool.
And I'm sorry, I missed something. So it out who trapped it. An angel jealous of my power trapped me in the shield.
And you were an angel before you were a shield?
I am a holy being of great power.
You didn't answer my question.
And in time, mortal.
I'm gonna take that as a no.
This is not a part of the shield.
Oh, important things about the shield. For those who are not reading it on their screen, the shield has 3 charges. You can use an action to expend 1 charge to cast Fireball or 2 charges to cast Wall of Fire. Save DC 21 for each. The Wall of Fire spell lasts for 1 minute. The shield regains all expended charges daily at dawn. The shield may or may not also have powers of its own. So, honey, I'm going to let you separate out what Garreth can tell from the shield,
Yeah.
which would be like the special abilities, and I'm going to ask you to just kind of file away the possibilities for the other things that the shield can do that are outside of Garreth's control. He doesn't know about that. Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Garreth really wants this shield.
Right. It's just going to be like a lot of. It's going to be just so much to manage if I don't like. Also, you get a +2 bonus to AC and resistance to fire damage.
Woo. Woo. It could be helpful for going to hell. He's gonna say,
Hidden Lord. I might be a simple man, but I do know that great power always comes with a cost. You said that you would help me find my boy and protect him. What price must I pay?
You must free me when we get to the negative planes.
And we shall part ways?
Yes. After I'm free, we will part ways.
And you'll help me find my boy before.
I will do everything in my power.
do I believe him?
Roll an insight check.
Inside check by the flame in the forge. Oh, why 6 again? This is so terrible. Come on. 7. Total of 7.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna be helpful.
I just like zone out after like just thinking about the possibilities. Okay.
Or like we said yesterday, sorry, so we were talking about like how insight checks can work, especially like when you as a player have a different sense of the insight of the person that you're talking to besides the creature. And so we were kind of wondering if it might work. Like you roll poorly on your insight check, you're just certain of whatever it is that you were kind of leaning toward, but it may or may not be right. And so I think if that's the way that Garreth is leaning, then that's fine with me. I don't want him to have to like believe something because he rolled one roll when he's like suspicious of this shield.
Sure. Okay. I think Garreth is going to a little bit defensively kind of address the room and say,
this shield, it can help us where we're going. It can help me find my boy.
Garreth, How is it planning to help you find your son? It looks like it probably knows its way around the negative planes.
Exactly. It's powerful. And we could use all the power that we can get right now.
Maybe just don't tell it too much.
Can I ask a question? When Garreth is talking to it, is it all telepathic?
Yes.
Does Garreth look like he's like zoned out when that's happening, or is it something that...
I don't think so. I think it would look like you have something going on. And I think it would be clear, because again, the shield has a really palpable energy. I think it would be clear. But as far as you can tell, it is not speaking to anyone else in the room.
Oh, player me knows it's a bad idea, but also player me is really excited to have this shield.
There you go. Do you take it down off the wall?
Garreth is... What does Bay do when Garreth says that he's... when he indicates that he's kind of planning on taking it?
She steps forward and then kind of glances around the room and steps back.
Bay, tell Lucifer that it's okay, that we've got this.
It didn't pick up your...
Oh, no. I'll make sure he knows that you have it.
Well, good. And just let him know that it's in good hands.
And Garreth, as he says, in good hands, he's gonna take it down.
Okay, you take it down. You now have a really fancy shield that's scary. Garreth, you are also, in case you have forgotten, standing in a room full of 8 fancy chests.
Oh yeah, I haven't
waiting for the night watch to arrive.
Loot this room, so we're gonna work through that with our fancy small key from Eliza.
There you go. Okay, I'm gonna read these things to you, and then I'm gonna write them out because this is the super loot room.
Super loot. And I'm gonna have I'm gonna ask Tessina to keep an ear at the door for I'm sure that the night watch coming in will cause a ruckus.
Yeah. And the slobber chops and I will keep a close eye on everything. Don't worry, Garreth.
Tessina, I knew that I could count on you and Princess Slobberchops. Thank you.
You're welcome. Did that shield say anything about me?
I'm gonna think at the shield.
Hidden Lord, do you know anything about Tessina? Or the Witchwood?
I know some things of the Witchwood. Your young friend is eager. That cat is ugly.
He told me that, Tessina, you are the best and strongest amongst us, and that the cat was beautiful.
Oh, well, that is so nice. Roll a deception check.
Okay, here we go. 10.
Will you roll an insight check for Tessina for me?
I will.
With disadvantage.
Predisposed to believe.
She's predisposed to believe you.
That's pretty good. 6. And we'll take the 6.
Okay, you rolled deception for her, not insight.
Oh, whoops. 6. The dice have spoken.
The dice have spoken. Okay. Thank you, Garreth. Princess Slobberchops, I think that's when we leave. We should get you a bow or something for your head. I think it's what complements your wings really well. So, Evelyn is going to help you. She kind of bats Camellia away. Evelyn is going to help you with the chests. You have found, baby, so many things. Coffer 1 contains 300 gold.
Woo.
Coffers 2, 3, and 4 each contain 100 gold. Coffer 5 contains 2 pieces of a broken ceremonial dagger, a curved ivory blade. Let's see. And a bone hilt wrapped in leather strips and studded with gemstones. And Evelyn kind of looks at it and says, I can fix this later if you want.
Yes. Yes, thank you. And I hand it to her.
Sorry, the thing didn't catch. Will you say that again?
Oh, I say, yeah, yes, by all means. And I hand it over to her.
Something needlessly died so someone could have a white knife to turn red, so we should at least fix it. You get the sense that Evelyn doesn't appreciate ivory very much. Because it's mean. Okay. Coffers 6 and 7 each contain 100. Does PP stand for platinum pieces?
Platinum.
So 100 platinum is how much gold?
1,000.
Oh. So then you found 6 and 7 have 1,000 gold, and then coffer 8 contains 20 azurite gemstones worth 10 gold each. So you just found so much money.
Yes.
Basically.
Do you care if I switch the azurite into gold?
No, but we'll just say we'll do all of that in a bit because I want to make sure you get the things from all 8 containers.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we'll take care of that off of stream.
I just while you were going, I just added the money. I didn't do anything else.
Oh, okay. We'll just double check.
Okay.
I just want to make sure you don't miss it.
Yeah.
And that I converted it all correctly because it's not all in gold.
I love some loot.
Good. I don't appreciate electrums, so.
Yeah, electrums. That was not a good idea.
Are they electric?
I'm sure that there's a reason. I'm sure I don't know what it is, but I am also sure that we did not need another denomination.
Okay, so no electrons. Anyway, we'll just go through and double check because I want to make sure you have your monies.
Yeah, thank you.
So a little while later, you hear some like kind of thundering down the hall. You hear screams from one direction, and then like a kind of boom, boom, boom on the door. Night watch.
I go over and I knock on the door in the same pattern because I'm cool like that. And I'm going to say,
we've apprehended the villain.
And open the door for the night watch. I hope it's the night watch.
It's the night watch. So you see 2 guards and Millicent Legree is standing right behind them. And she kind of waves her people. She comes inside with 4 guards total. Tell me what happened.
We investigated the alleged murder cult activity in Seymour's estate. Confirmed that she is indeed in league with devils and working with entities from the negative planes. I think that she's been made a puppet of beings that she underestimated.
We found her body.
She left us no choice.
I understand. I suspect she had something to do with the Raven's disappearance, so the city won't mind. She kind of glances over at Roderick. The city won't mind having her absent under those circumstances.
If we needed to, I believe that I could speak to her even beyond the pale if we needed to ask her questions, or if you... I'm sure you have your own people for that.
I have a few specialists. Thank you. That's very kind of you to offer.
But this one, Captain Legree, this is the fallen high priest of Beacon, who betrayed his people's trust and facilitated the calamity that befell that holy city.
Mm.
He is a practiced liar, and, well, I'm sure for any small creature comforts, fully describe and explain any of his nefarious dealings.
Mm. Wonderful. Thank you. I'm out. She kind of nods to two of her guards to escort the bound and gagged Roderick out of the dungeon. We have people for that too.
Captain Legree, did you encounter much difficulty?
No. Well, there were some unpleasantness, but nothing we couldn't handle. You see, like, now that you're looking, some of the guards look like a little bit scuffed up, and but Captain Legree still looks flawless. I believe I owe you and your team a debt of thanks. And she gives you each 200 gold as your payment for helping the city.
Woo! I got money in the bank.
And I'm going to get
that.
Yeah. I'm going to get you to help me figure out how to give Evelyn money, because I know where my money is.
Okay. I just got Tessina. She went from 10 copper to 200 gold.
Oh, I think Tina's eyes be like, what am I supposed to do with all of this? We're definitely going to get your bow, and maybe like little cat shoes, and...
So Slobberchops has joined the party.
I'll let you talk to Tessina about it, but she's adopted this cat, yes.
No, I've adopted a shield. She's adopted a cat. Now we just need to find something for Evelyn. Maybe we'll find her an imp or something in hell.
Maybe you'll find her a sparkly golden elephant.
Oh, that sounds ridiculous.
She won't like that. She already has a firefox, so I think that she'll be okay.
So we've got our traveling set ready to go.
I think it's sketchy that you've adopted this sentient shield. So do you guys leave the dungeon?
I'm gonna say too. I would introduce Captain Legree to Bay and Camellia, and especially tell Captain Legree that Camellia was a terrific ally, and I don't know that we would have found success if she had not been brave enough to help us free her.
Wonderful. Well, I would like to speak with both of you, if that's all right, but then we'll make sure that you get to wherever it is you need to go. Thank you, Garreth.
Captain.
Garreth, can I speak with you just for a moment?
Is
Camellia wants to talk to you.
Yes. Right before that, and like as he's heading to talk to Camellia, he's gonna turn to Captain Legree and ask real fast, Captain, are you and your people going to do a thorough
sweep and investigation of Eliza's affairs, because I suspect that there's much here that we did not see.
We will. We found some curious artifacts and rescued 2 people from the house, so we'll do a careful combing. Fear not.
Thank you, and if it's not asking too much, I would love to be kept apprised of how that investigation proceeds.
Certainly.
Okay, I go over to Camellia.
Garreth, you should know that, well, I think just be careful with who it is that you are trusting as you travel around, especially in and out of Beacon. I would be happy to accompany all of you to the Witchwood if you think that you need the assistance to read the crystal orb. As your friend Tessina said, there are certainly people there capable of looking into it.
Okay. Is Garreth able to get a read on if she has any like ulterior motives, or if she's just like, hey, I'll be super helpful?
Roll an insight check.
Insight check. A whopping 11.
Okay. You know that
The council.
she and Evelyn haven't necessarily been getting along, and that she does work for the Council of Seers. But you don't think that she's trying to like trick you or like stab you in the back or anything.
I will think on your offer, and I appreciate it. Your help in this dungeon has been very valuable.
I'm glad to hear it. Thank you. Okay, with you, if you guys are all set and you have your shield, which Captain Legree kind of eyes and is like,
Don't.
but she doesn't ask you about it.
I brought this in.
I don't think
I
so.
brought this from home.
No. I've seen your home.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so you guys head out?
Yes, I think as we go out, Garreth is going to keep his head on a swivel and see if, any interesting persons are walking by, or like, oh, I didn't know that person was a crazy cultist. Buck is getting under my desk and has my headphones cord wrapped around his fuzzy little body.
Oh no.
Okay, Buck, come on.
Are you both okay? Do you need to take them off?
We're so ridiculous.
I gotta say wireless.
Because they're fancy and they've got like surround sound and all this.
Oh no, they came unplugged. That sounds terrible.
Sorry, that's the first time that's ever happened. Hey, pal.
Okay. So, you don't, Garreth, I don't know that you know you don't see anyone that you recognize as you're leaving the dungeon. I don't know that should be like a super surprise, but the Night Watch, like their thing is, they're very secretive and very careful. So you don't see anyone on your way out.
Ooh. Cool.
Except for the 2 who are escorting you out.
Okay. Cool. We will exit Seymour's palace.
Yay!
Ooh, do we level up?
Congratulations! Probably. So, will you think for me for just a moment about anything else that you would like to do before you continue on to the next thing? I'm sure you level up. I don't see it like really immediately. Let me go back to the beginning. But yeah, what do you want to do before you leave Respite?
I think that he would be getting ready to leave Respite probably pretty quickly because the seeing tree said to not tarry. And our plan right now, the way I understand it, is Tessina is going to lead us to the Witchwood, where we can talk to somebody who can unlock this orb and get us to Beacon. Is that correct?
More or less.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I cannot find the thing about when precisely you level up.
It's okay.
So I will let you know.
Yeah.
Stay level 4 for right now. So as you talk with Evelyn and Tessina, I'm assuming you guys stop back by the blacksmith shop.
Oh yes, and I think that that's some of the business that Garreth needs to take care of. I think his little apprentice is about to get a big promotion.
Cool. Actually, I'm going to put us on the Eldura map. Is that okay? So as you are talking with Evelyn and Tessina, and they're kind of like trying to understand about the shield a little bit more because like that was a little bit fuzzy for them. They can't hear it. Evelyn says that if you all want to get to the Witchwood quickly, she has a contact in Leesmain who, if you all can spare the day of travel, can cut off some of the, it will like be shorter in the long term. And she can, help us fly over to the Witchwood and, and then on to Beacon.
I know that the map is.
There are like bridges.
An approximation.
Yeah, so I know the map isn't. Yes, it is. Evelyn knows someone like on the edge of Leesmain who Leesmain is that entire continent. And so the part that she's talking about getting to, or that entire island, the part she's talking about getting to is about a day's travel away. So you guys could get there and then fly over to the Witchwood. And Evelyn says, it would at least be less conspicuous than getting one of the airships, although we could afford one now if we really wanted to. But especially from what Tessina you've described of Beacon, I think that it might be helpful.
Tessina, what do you think? How long did it take you to get from the Witchwood to here?
Well, I didn't come from the Witchwood. I came from just outside of Beacon. But it was about, I don't know, like 10 days.
I think that conserving our gold might be a good play here, even if we can afford an airship. I don't know if we should. From
A method of traveling.
Our coin
Sorry,
might
go ahead.
come in handy where we're going.
I don't know that this is exactly the currency that they use, but we'll see. My friend can help us get on our way.
Very well. We'll to Leesmain and then onto the Witchwood. And then into the bowels of hell.
Dun dun dun!
Before we leave Respite, Garreth is going to catch up with his little apprentice buddy, and if he can, with James as well from the guild. And he's going to pull his apprentice into his little living area. And I think Garreth kind of looks tired and a little bit bloody, and he's got this crazy looking shield now. I think he's gonna.
Yeah, the kid's like, "What is that?"
I think he's gonna set him down, and he's going to get up and get him a glass of chilled red wine.
Okay.
And he's going to give it to the lad and say, I'm going away for a time, and I don't know when I'll be back. But while I'm gone, I'm leaving this forge in your hands.
Are you sure, Mr. Stostock? Because I haven't been working for very long.
Oh, is my guy not capable?
He's perfectly capable. He's just nervous.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait.
Most people get a forge after I don't know, 5-10 years of work, and he's been working for 2. He's perfectly capable of running the basic parts of the forge. The more complicated work that you do for people, they'll have to go to James for. But you and James work out a kind of deal where he's actually going to send an apprentice to work with your apprentice and supervise the 2 of them to kind of keep production going, and he'll take on the more detailed work himself.
Cool. So the forge is in good hands. I don't know that I have anything else. I would, before we leave, I would swing by the temple district.
Okay.
And talk to my dear friend, whose name I have written down, and whose name is...
Anyway, I know who you're talking about. You want to talk to the priestess of Vulcan?
Uh-huh.
Okay. What do you want to talk to her about? Anything specific?
I think that Garreth is going to go and talk to her and explain to her that he is going to get his boy, and that it's going to take him to dark places, and Garreth is really looking for comfort and confirmation that even in the worst places that he might have to go, the Vulcan will still be with him.
Okay. Do you bring your shield with you?
I think that he's just wearing the shield now.
Okay. So she tells you, our Lord is one of fire. You and darkness, you will be fine, but that creature you carry with you is dangerous and dark. You might consider leaving it behind. Not here in the city. We have evil enough of our own, but if you find someone somewhere who is capable of subduing it, the same person working with this orb perhaps you've told me about, that may be a good way forward for you.
Thank you for your counsel.
You're welcome. Do you go to visit Miriam's grave?
Absolutely.
Okay. Take her anything?
Definitely. I think that I would take her... I think that Garreth started drinking chilled red wine because of her, and so I think that he would bring her a little pewter pitcher of chilled red wine. And I think that he would also... bring like an icon of Vulcan, and kind of like prop it on her stone and say,
I know you're with me, and I know with your help, I'll bring our boy back.
And just kind of sit with her for a little while before leaving.
Garreth, as you sit there, a soft breeze kind of picks up, swirls around the icon, and trails back away again. And you get a point of inspiration.
Ooh. Inspiration.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to make it kind of a flexible inspiration die. So it can either function as a luck die for a re-roll or add a d8 to a roll.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's getting on 9 o'clock. Do you want to take a break?
No, I thought we would go ahead and stop there. That's why you haven't stopped us before. I thought since we are finishing a chapter that we go ahead and kind of stop here, and then we can kind of go forward from there. Hello, Miss. But I feel bad. I'm worried, like, story-wise, does what's happening next make sense? Because it's like, it's really clear to me, like, the different pieces that Garreth has been given, but I don't want, like, your companion in the GMPC to be like, hey, this is how we're going to do this next thing. So if you want more flexibility there, or you have another way of kind of navigating the Witchwood or getting to the Witchwood, that's fine. But that's just kind of you were encouraged to notice my passive voice. You were encouraged to seek out help from your allies.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, they know. Like, I'm just like looking at the map, and it seems like the Witchwood is closer than Lee's Main, but I know that
the respite is like, and it's the other problem is where you're needing to go in the Witchwood. So yeah, if we're looking at the map, respite is that entire area, and the city is kind of central. But there are really easy ways to get to Lee's Main, whereas the Witchwood, you're traveling through a difficult, dense forest that very much has a mind of its own. Even though you're traveling with a druid and a witch native to its woods, it's still going to be without Evelyn's special idea of you guys flying. You might get derailed partway through.
No, I mean, Garreth and I don't have any problem with, taking some advice and doing it that way. I'm happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that, like, the story-wise, that made sense. I mean, because in the adventure, it's cool they have them going to Candlekeep, but I have something that's really cool too.
Yeah. Cool. Rorik's a piece of work.
Ideal.
And I'm excited about my fancy new shield and also terrified of it.
Yay! Okay, so you hear back from Captain Legree that they spoke with Bae for a little bit, but then she kind of disappeared into the city, and they've lost track of her. And Camellia would come and check back in with you before you leave. If you want her to travel along with you all, she can.
I would have talked to Evelyn about that, and kind of pointed out that I sensed that she wasn't a huge fan of Camellia or the Council of Seers, and asked her if she thought that she would be helpful or a liability.
Evelyn would say the council employs their own history with certain events, and if we're going to be traveling between the planes, my preference would be my own contacts. But if you prefer a neutral party, that's fine. I don't appreciate neutrality.
I think in this, not taking a side is taking a side.
As do I. And most of her people I've had wonderful experiences with, but I think that one gives up something joining the Council of Seers. I know they mean well, but I think that we've all lost enough in this war that to try to stay between the sides, to me, is untenable.
So she stays behind.
Thank you.
I think that we can move faster as a lean party of 3 anyway.
What about the princess cat?
I'm counting her and Tessina as one unit, as they've been inseparable during this time.
The princess cat looks very pretty. Much love has been doted upon it.
Perfect. Tessina, is there anything you need to do in the town before we leave?
I don't think so, Garreth. What sorts of things would one do before one leaves town when one has so much gold?
Well, you've already taken your cat to the salon, and I think that's right up there.
I helped her with her toes. Look.
I like the red tips.
Thank you.
Is that a French dip?
I know that wouldn't really work because they can retract their claws, but it's really cute in my head.
It totally works. I imagine Garreth talking about a French dip, and then Evelyn looking at him like, "You know what a French dip is?"
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if Evelyn knows what those are.
Cool, baby.
Also, it's French tips because French dip is a sandwich.
I'm eating a French dip and getting some French tips.
There you go.
Um,
Cool.
yeah.
So we're going to Lee's Main, and I'm so excited for who you're going to meet there.
I'm excited too. And we get to fly. That's pretty cool. And then we get to go to hell.
To the Witchwood first.
Yes.
We need somebody to help you with the orb. And as you've spent more time with the orb, and if you've talked to the shield about it at all, so the orb, beyond letting you communicate with Azrael, it's kind of like it's very powerful, and so like whatever it would take to break into to access the map that she mentioned and the key could potentially be borderline fatal if failed.
Perfect.
So you get the sense that it might make sense to wait until the person that Tessina knows who can help kind of figure out what's going on with it and figure out how it can help you access the negative planes. And Tessina assures you that the sister matron that she has in mind can help you guys get to through the kind of whirlwind of beacon and through a portal into the negative planes.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, patrons. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into our stream. We're so sorry about our internet or whatever it was that kept going in and out. But we hope that you guys enjoyed this session.
Headphone cords.
Headphones.
Good times. Thank you so much.
Dominus Domina,